fostering a competitive market environment, which is essential, Honorable Speaker, for economic growth and innovation in Kenya. Honorable Speaker, the Office of the Director General of the Competition Authority is established under Section 12(1) of the Competition Act, Cap 504, in the following terms. Director General, 1, that there shall be a Director General of the Authority who shall be appointed by the authority and approved by Parliament from persons having knowledge and experience in competition matters. Honorable Speaker, Section 12(1) of the Competition Act also provides for the qualification for a person to be appointed as a Director General of the Competition Authority as having, most importantly, having knowledge and experience in competition matters. Honorable Speaker, the then acting Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury and Economic Planning, in exercise of powers conferred to him by Section 12 of the Competition Act, Cap 504, nominated Mr. David Kibet Kimei as the Director General of the Competition Authority through a letter dated 6 August 2024. The message by His Excellency Musalia Mudavadi, the then acting Cabinet Secretary, was conveyed to the House by the Speaker of the National Assembly and the Speaker of the Senate. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Section 4 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act and Standing Order 216(5)(f) of the National Assembly Standing Orders and Standing Order 77(1) of the Senate Standing Orders, the name of the nominee was submitted to the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning and the Senate Standing Committee on Finance and Budget, which, sitting jointly, conducted the approval hearings. Honorable Speaker, following the referral of the nomination of the committees, the clerks of both houses requested information on the nominee from the statutory institutions, which are the EACC, Kenya Revenue Authority, Higher Education Close Board, the Director of Criminal Investigation, and the ORPP, Honorable Speaker. These institutions, Honorable Speaker, did write to the Joint Committee and gave a clean bill of health to the nominee. Additionally, the nominee presented before the committee's clearances from these particular institutions. Honorable Speaker, the committees in determining the suitability of the nominee took into consideration the provisions on leadership and integrity as outlined under Chapter 6 of the Constitution. Also, the committees consider the nominee's academic qualifications, employment record and work experience, membership to relevant professional associations, public office, political activities and affiliations, potential conflict of interest, suitability to the position, tax compliance, and other thematic areas relevant to the duties and responsibilities of a Director General of the Competition Authority of the Great Republic of Kenya. Honorable Speaker, having considered the suitability of the candidate, the committees noted the following: that the nominee is a Kenyan citizen with no dual citizenship and therefore meets the requirement of Article 78(1) of the Constitution. And 2, that the nominee was cleared by all Chapter 6 agencies and thus meets the requirement of Chapter 6 of the Constitution on leadership and integrity. And 3, that the nominee possesses the relevant experience for the position of Director General for the Competition Authority of Kenya. He is a managing director at DGMB Solutions Limited and has vast experience in developing and managing strategies vital to the running of an organization. A background in management and organization leadership is a critical tool for any person discharging the duty like that of the Director General of the Competition Authority of Kenya. Honorable Speaker, the nominee clearly demonstrated to the Joint Committee that he clearly understood the current issues affecting the Competition Authority of Kenya. He also shared practical strategies that to address the various issues that exist around the matters of competition in this country. This placed him, Honorable Speaker, as a suitable candidate to provide leadership to the Competition Authority. The nominee, Honorable Speaker, demonstrated a satisfactory understanding of the mandate of the Competition Authority of Kenya, the need to ensure fair prices, to protect consumers and promote a transparent business environment, and the enforcement strategies that he would employ to monitor businesses. The nominee, Honorable Speaker, demonstrated his ability to effectively manage the funds and resources of an institution. He further demonstrated his ability to discharge the role as the accounting officer that is required, that of the Director General. The nominee, Honorable Speaker, is 59 years old, having been born on the 12th December 1964. The committee further finds that the Competition Authority of Kenya, Cap 504, does not provide for the age requirement for the office holder of the Director General. Further, Article 27(4) of the Constitution of Kenya prevents the state from discriminating against any Kenyan on an account of age. Honorable Speaker, it is important to note that the Joint Committee did receive a memorandum from one Mr. Wino, member of the public, challenging the nomination of Mr. Kimei as the Director General of Competition Authority of Kenya on the basis that he is 59 years of age, Honorable Speaker. Having consulted all our legal teams, it was eminent that one, the qualification set by the Competition Authority of Kenya does not have a limit for the age of the nominee, Honorable Speaker. Secondly, it goes against the precepts of our Constitution to discriminate anybody against any position in this country based on race, religion, color, or age, or their ethnicity, Honorable Speaker, or even political affiliation. In relation to, Honorable Speaker, to a matter that was raised by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission of Kenya regarding the judgment to surcharge the nominee when he served as a KMTC board member for the impartial recruitment of the corporation county secretary for the organization's corporation secretary, the committee found that the nominee was not part of the said suit and therefore could not have had the opportunity to defend himself, and therefore it could not have utterly been unfair to judge him on that matter, Honorable Speaker. The matter in question, Honorable Speaker, just to give this House some basis, is when the nominee served as a board member for the KMTC, the board then recruited to the position of the CEO of the corporation secretary of KMTC. However, the said nominee was found not to have the requisite academic requirements, which included to have the need to possess a degree in law and to be a certified corporation secretary, as he is, Honorable Speaker. However, considering that was a board decision, and although even a court ruling had been issued, the suit was against the board of KMTC, and KMTC as a body corporate, and not to him as an individual member of that board, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, considering that he was not party to the suit, and therefore had not been accorded time to go and justify himself and defend himself, and a chance for his version to be heard, the joint committees found that using that as a basis to deny this candidate the approval for this particular position of Director General would be unfair and would make him not have a recourse to be heard, Honorable Speaker. The Honorable Speaker, it is therefore against this background that I request this Honorable House of the 13th Parliament to agree with the joint committees of the National Assembly, Departmental Committee of Finance and National Planning, and the Standing Committee of Budget and Finance of the Senate, and approve Mr. David Kimei as the Director General for the Competition Authority of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move and request the Chair, Jailer Committee to second. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Murugara.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, let me begin by thanking the Committee on Finance for some work well done in vetting and approving the appointment of Mr. David Kimei. Without having to rehash exactly what the chairperson of the Finance Committee has submitted regarding this candidate, may I confirm that the candidate has immense experience in matters relating to competition, finance, and business. It is important to note that the Competition Authority of Kenya, the CAK, is actually under the Competition Act, Chapter 504 of the laws of Kenya, which is established specifically to ensure that the issues of competition in the country are dealt with in a manner that protects and promotes business in the country. The purpose of the Competition Authority is to promote, safeguard competition, also ensure that our national economy is protected and the consumers who are the beneficiaries of the protection actually are not subjected to unfair and misleading market conduct or conditions in the country. Therefore, the task ahead of Mr. David Kemei is to ensure that we as consumers in the country are protected from unfair competition practices which are quite often in Kenya. Those include bringing in substandard commodities. They also bring in undercutting, charging less than the market can allow, practices which expose consumers to substandard goods. Mr. Speaker, sir, Mr. Kemei will have to move to enforcement and the compliance with the Competition Act of Kenya. Here we will require him to ensure that this law is actually implemented to the fullest to ensure that, again, consumers and the economy of the country is protected. It is important to note that Mr. David Kemei did undergo a full vetting, and he was able to satisfy members of the Finance Committee that he was suitable for this job. And therefore, in view of the report that has been given to us, the submissions that have been made here, we do not have any hesitation in agreeing with the Committee on Finance and calling upon this Honorable House today to approve the appointment of Mr. David Kemei. With those remarks, I beg to second. Thank you very much.
Honorable members, I now propose a question. Order, honorable members, order. Can you take your seats? Take your seats. Honorable members, honorable members, take your seats. Order, honorable members. I now propose a question that, taking into consideration the findings of the Joint Committee of the National Assembly Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning, and the Senate Standing Committee on Finance and Budget, in its report on the vetting of a nominee for appointment as the Director General of the Competition Authority, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, the 26th September 2024, and pursuant to Section 12(1) of the Competition Act, Cap 504, and Section 3 and 8 of the Public Appointment Parliamentary Approval Act of 2011, this House approves the appointment of Mr. David Kemei as the Director General of Competition Authority. Yes, the Honorable Bayer.
Honorable Speaker, I stand to support these findings of the Joint Committee of the National Assembly Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning and the Senate Standing Committee on Finance and Budget in its report on the vetting of a nominee for appointment as the Director General of the Competition Authority. Honorable Speaker, as members are aware, the Competition Authority plays a crucial role in enhancing the welfare of the people of Kenya by promoting and protecting competition in markets and preventing misleading market conduct. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, the importance of the office of the Director General cannot be gainsaid. Honorable Speaker, I note that in considering the suitability of the nominee, the committee paid due regard to the constitutional and statutory requirements relating to the office in question and whether the nominee's abilities, experience, and qualities met the needs of the said office. Honorable Speaker, the committee was guided by the Constitution and the statutory requirements such as the national values and principles of governance, conduct of public officer, and leadership and integrity prerequisites. Additionally, Mr. Speaker, the suitability of the nominee was assessed after scrutiny of their background, academic credentials, and the professional qualifications, work, and professional experience, personal integrity, as well as their performance
The nominee, Honorable Speaker, Mr. David Kibet Kimei, has over 33 years experience across many sectors, including academia, regulatory tourism, health, communication, and energy. Through his extensive employment record and work experience, the nominee is well equipped with the skills and expertise needed as Director General for the Competition Authority. Mr. Speaker, further, the nominee has clearly demonstrated a clear roadmap, according to the report, to promote growth in the sector, including creating a level playing field for businesses, advocating for regulatory reforms that promote transparency and competition, developing a regulatory framework that supports their competition, and promoting regional and global integration to foster a competitive environment that benefits both local and international business. Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, I urge this House to make a swift and favorable decision in approving Mr. David Kibet Kimei to the position of Director General of the Competition Authority of Kenya, thus reinforcing our commitment to protecting, strengthening, and improving the efficiency of our economy, which is vital for driving economic growth. Honorable Speaker, I support the appointment of David Kimei to be the Director General of the Competition Authority, and the report is available. The committee has done a good job, commendable job, and I want to thank the committee and the Senate committee, and therefore request this House to not waste time, but approve the appointment of David Kimei Kibet to be the Director General of the Competition Authority. Honorable Speaker, I support and request the members to support, and if the Honorable Pokose is around, he can request that we put the question and we approve. Honorable Speaker, I thank you.
Majority Leader, the MP for Suba South, the Honorable Karoli Omondi.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise to support the nomination of David Kibet Kimei to the position of Director General of Competition Authority. As I'm doing so, I can see Honorable Marianne Keitani smiling. There's a particular reason for that smile. Honorable Keitani and I happen to have worked with David Kibet Kimei many years ago when we established the first independent regulatory authority, then known as Electricity Regulatory Board, now Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, EPRA. I give Mr. Kimei very strong recommendation because from that group at ERB at that time, now EPRA, our inaugural chairman is now the Speaker of this House. Our inaugural CEO is now the Deputy Chief Justice of this Republic. Marianne Keitan, the first Chief of Staff, Lady Chief of Staff in the Republic of Kenya, are now a member of this House. One good engineer, Kevin Karaoke, is now the head of power at African Development Bank. And yours truly, Karoli Omondi, the first Chief of Staff in the Republic of Kenya, is now a member of this House. Now, let me begin by giving further information about David Kimei. He was very instrumental in helping us set up rules and regulations that would deal with competition in the power subsector, consumer protection, compliance issues, and dispute resolution. I'm very confident that David Kimei will be able to be a good Director General and discharge the functions of a regulator properly, of exercising independent authority and ensuring that the market work and consumers are protected and that disputes that emerge are settled expeditiously and equitably. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to support.
The Honorable Marianne Keitani.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I stand to support the nomination and appointment of Mr. David Kimei to the position of Director General of Competition Authority. Mr. Speaker, just like has been said by my colleague, Honorable Karoli Omondi, we worked with David Kimei at one time in our lives, and the work, and I can actually vouch for his experience and his professionalism in the works he does. He's very articulate and very straight to the point, and knowing that competition authority is an authority that takes care of businesses and industry in terms of competition and competitive advantages that some companies may want to take advantage of other companies. I think he comes in with the right skill and the right professionalism to be able to steer our industry and ensure that every industry or every person wanting to do business in Kenya gets the right forum or gets the right environment where competition is not curtailed. We know, for example, that there are businesses in this country that want to take advantage of others and make lots of profits and huge profits. And I know that David Kemei will be able to perform that duty, and I know that he is qualified and has the professional skill and is actually professional in everything that he does. I therefore stand to support. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
MP for Kikuyu and Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I rise to support the appointment, or rather the nomination and appointment of David to the position of the Director General of the Competition Authority of Kenya. Honorable Speaker, even as I support his nomination from his vast experience as a good professional who can deliver on the mandate having been vetted by the Finance and National Planning Committee, I must take this opportunity, Honorable Speaker, to speak to David and tell him that he's taking office in a very crucial authority in our country. Honorable Speaker, the Competition Authority has been moribund since its formation. And I want to hope and pray that David Kemei is a man who will make this authority have teeth to bite. Because, Honorable Speaker, we're in a country where corporates like Safaricom want to operate like a monopoly, and they do not desire to have competition from anybody, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I was shocked the other day when there was a lot of debate online and across the country from a letter that was done by Safaricom to the Communications Authority on the rollout of Starlink satellite technology in Kenya. Honorable Speaker, as much as Safaricom may have a point in terms of the national security issues and issues touching on traceability of the gadgets and where they are and for what purpose they are being used, but we see corporates like Safaricom and others, Honorable Speaker, who take advantage of their dominance in the market to kill competition in the country. And any economy without competition, Honorable Speaker, people will be taken advantage of. Honorable Speaker, if you look at the case of Starlink, Kenyans today are paying an average of 1,300 per month for data that is quick, is very fast, is easy to access, and you can access it from any corner of the country, irrespective of whether there is a base station or not. Why would anybody, Honorable Speaker, want to derail Kenyans from accessing such technology? Simply because you have invested over the years in base stations. If you have been slow in advancing your technology with changing times in the world, Honorable Speaker, it is not the problem of Kenyans. And this is where the Competition Authority must come in and step in and ensure that no corporate in this country and nobody is able to deny Kenyans the right of choice. Because that is all competition about. Competition is about the right to choice. Kenyans must be able to choose, even with Kenya Power and Lighting Company. We must be able to choose whether we want power connected to our homes by KPLC or by another competitor, Honorable Speaker, who can distribute power from the national grid. It cannot be that since for the last 60 years we have depended on KPLC, and in this day and age where people are even, Honorable Speaker, I saw something online, I think it was in India or Bangladesh, where people are using solar lighting and creating a grid in a village by interconnecting their own solar panels across their village. That is the beauty of technology that we must harness to ensure that we leverage on the innovations of our young people in this country, Honorable Speaker, to make sure that there is competitive trade in our economy, to ensure that at the end of the day, the ordinary Kenyan is able to access either services or products at the cheapest possible cost, whether it is data, whether it is airtime, Honorable Speaker. And as much as I don't like Elon Musk, Honorable Speaker, I saw him promising us that with time we'll be able to make emergency calls for free by converting our cell phones to satellite phones. This is the kind of innovation and technology we want, so that I do not have to pay 3 shillings per minute for airtime that could be free, for heaven's sake. Honorable Speaker, I support this nomination, but I want to ask Mr. David Kemei to make sure that the Competition Authority has teeth to bite and ensure Kenyans get value for their money, and the industry, all industries are competitive. With that, I support.
The MP for Wajir North, the Honorable Sene. Sene, are you in the house? Because I see your name here.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. I have no problem with the nominee offered the opposition as the Director General. David Kibet Kimei is qualified and competent to do the job. However, Mr. Speaker, I have serious concerns on how opportunities are being shared in this country. Mr. Speaker, ethnicity, marginalization, diversity, very important values that are so clear in our constitutions are just on paper, they are not in action. Opportunities has become the preserve of only the major tribes in this country. Mr. Speaker, I'm not a flower girl to sit in this house to always approve names for only few communities, Mr. Speaker. Kenya belongs to 47 tribes. 47 tribes. Day in, day out, we are approving names. I ask, are other Kenyans not competent? Are they not qualified? I'm reminded of the predecessor of this gentleman, David Kibet. One Dr. Adano has been acting for 21 months. 21 months in the same position. That begs many questions. There were so many irregularities in the recruitment of officers in the same office. So my concern, in as much as I approve the appointment of Kibet, Kenya doesn't belong to 2 to 3 or 4 tribes. Kenya belongs to 47 tribes. I don't know when an Ajuran, which is a tribe also in this country, a nominee from that community shall come to the floor of this house and we approve one from that community. There is the monopoly of only appointing people from few tribes. Kenya is one and our unity is manifest in the 47 communities or tribes, Mr. Speaker. In as much as I approve the nominee, I beg for regional balance. I beg for equity. I beg that all Kenyans are treated equally. I beg that Somali is not an ethnic, it's an ethnicity but not a tribe. That the Somali community is a nation of tribes. And many a times we are shrouded and we are being concealed in that name. So my concern is, let Kibet be approved. But let Kenya belong to 47 tribes, not in name but by action. I support, but I am not happy. I am not happy. I am crestfallen in the way in which public service is being just given to few clans, to few tribes, Mr. Speaker. Otherwise, I approve. Thank you.
The Honorable Makilap. Makilap. Order,
thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, please consult in law.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order. Yeah.
Protecting me from the leadership here. They are doing loud consultation.
The Honorable Kimani Chungwa, the Honorable Osoro. Now, I'll not mention the lady's name. She's my colleague.
Thank you, Mr.
Proceed.
Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First, I rise to support David Kibet Kemei for appointment to the position of Director General of Competition Authority of Kenya. So, Speaker, during the vetting process, the one David Kemei showed a lot of experience and knowledge in the area, in matters of law, in matters of competitors. He has vast knowledge in the industry. So, Speaker, just following what the Leader of Majority has said, David Kemei has a job to be done in Kenya. One, Mr. Speaker, is to ask David Kemei, if he gets approval of this House, to sort out competition in the power sector, as the Leader of Majority has said, so that Kenya Power does not enjoy monopoly of power in this country, Mr. Speaker. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, in Safaricom, M-Pesa, competition between M-Pesa and commercial banks and microfinances, Mr. Speaker, an industry that is not regulated by law, Mr. Speaker, that needs to be sorted out. That is a job waiting for one David Kemei. Mr. Speaker, in the manufacture of semen, Mr. Speaker, in this country there is one manufacturer who does the clinker, who does the manufacture of and processing of semen. He is the manufacturer, he is the wholesaler, he is the retailer, and he is the distributor. Mr. Speaker, how do you expect the small business people to compete? Mr. Speaker, that is an area that requires to be sorted out. Similarly to steel manufacturer, it's the one manufacturing steel, he does the distribution, he does the retail, Mr. Speaker, and he does the mining of pellets, among other things, Mr. Speaker. How do you expect a small hustler who has opened their shop in Baringo North, for example, Mr. Speaker, to compete with that kind of manufacturer? So, Mr. Speaker, this is an industry that requires a man of caliber of David Kibet to be able to sort out the things that are affecting that particular industry, Mr. Speaker, including taxes, Mr. Speaker. A situation where tax regime...
Honorable members, order. I can understand... Just a sec. I can understand there's a lot of excitement today in the House. But please, do consult in low tones, allow the Honorable Makilap to be heard. Proceed, Makilap.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What is it in competition, Mr. Speaker? Competition must be able to create a fair playground for all business people in Kenya. This is the man that will be able to put in order monopolies in business. Look at the milk industry, Mr. Speaker. The milk industry, the milk production and the value chain in the milk industry is skewed towards one competitor who works very hard to kill the other industries, including ACC. Mr. Speaker, this milk production and its value chain, together with the competitors of those who process and package milk, requires order so that the business people on the ground, the people who produce milk and keep cows, will be able to have value for money for their milk, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there is a lot that needs to be regulated in this country so that there is fair competition, so that the people who want to build the economy, the young economies, will be able to build in the internet sector, Mr. Speaker, and the digital economy. Mr. Speaker, there is need to have order in that area, Mr. Speaker, so that everyone has a play and has a space to play in growing the economy of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, I support one David Kibet for the appointment for Director General of Competition Authority of Kenya, Mr. Speaker.
The MP for Jomvu, Badibadi. Mheshimiwa Badibadi.
Yes. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Speaker kwa kunipatia fursa hii leo ili na mimi kuungana pamoja na wenzangu kuchangia katika mada hii. Leo Mheshimiwa Speaker, mimi nataka pia kushikana pamoja na wajumbe wenzangu katika kuunga mkono uteuzi wa Bwana David Kemei katika halmashauri ya ushindani, yani Director General katika Competition Authority. Vile vile, Mheshimiwa Spika, niko na sababu ambazo zinanifanya kuwa niweze kuunga mkono hoja hii. Ni kwa sababu Bwana David Kimei ameongelelewa na wengi sana juu ya utendakazi wake na kuwa ni mtu ambaye ataweza kusaidia katika kuona kuwa halmashauri hii inaweza kunawiri. Mheshimiwa Spika, tumeona kiongozi wetu wa wengi ndugu Kimani Ichung'wah akizungumzia juu ya hali ilivyo katika Kenya Power, na ni muhimu pia na mimi niunge mkono kusema kwa mambo kama haya. Ni muhimu kuona kuwa mtu mwananchi anaweza kujichagulia, lakini hali ilivyo mwananchi anawekwa katika hali kuwa hana budi, lazima awe ataweza kutumia moto wa Kenya Power. Vile vile, Mheshimiwa Spika, nataka kumwambia Bwana David Kimei ya kwa kuwa hii kazi yake ni ngumu sana na lazima ajitolee na serikali impe nguvu ya kuona kuwa namna gani wale mabwenyenye ambao watakuwa wakitaka kuzuia ili waweze kumonopolize biashara, kuona kuwa ameweka ushindani wa kila moja. Mheshimiwa Spika, nikisema hivyo ni kumaanisha kuna uwekezaji wa nafaka, yani grain handling, ambao kuna makampuni pia, Mheshimiwa Spika, wanataka kujitolea kuona kuwa kule Mombasa washindane pamoja na wengine ili wafanye biashara ile, lakini wanawekewa vikwazo vingi katika kuona kuwa wanaweza na wao kuingia katika uwanja wa ushindani ili kufanya mambo yale. Kijana mmoja mkurugenzi mdogo sana pale anaitwa Mohamed D, ambaye yeye aling'ang'ana pande ya mambo ya documentation na mengine mingi kuona kuwa ili aweze katika hiyo kampuni ishindane na wale mabwenyenye wengine. Mheshimiwa Spika, hatuwezi kuenuka ikiwa tutaacha wale mabwenyenye peke yao wenye nguvu wafanye biashara. Kwa hivyo mimi nasema ni muhimu huyu Bwana David Kimei aone kuwa tukimpelekea maneno pia kumwambia awe ataweza kuwasikiza ili aweze kufungua mlango wa ushindani wa kibiashara na mambo mengine katika watu wetu. Vile vile leo tuna hasara, Mheshimiwa Spika, imepatikana mafuta kule Turkana, ambapo kwa zamani sisi pale Mombasa kwetu kulikuwa na refinery pale Changamwe. Hivi sasa imefungwa, hakuna ushindani ambao unaweza kuendelea. Mafuta haya yanapatikana, yanachukuliwa pelekwa nchi za nje, wanafanyiwa na yanakuwa refined, kisha tunarudishwa, tunauziwa. Kwa hivyo hiyo kwa Kiswahili nasema ni goji kiriba, kiriba goji. Yani sisi tuna mafuta tutoe nje tufanywe refining alafu kisha turudishwe. Hii kampuni ya refinery lazima ifufuliwe na serikali ili iweze kushindana na wale Waarabu wengine pale katika nchi za nje na kutupa kazi katika watu wetu ambao walikuwa wanafanya katika refinery ile. Leo Mheshimiwa Spika, watu wengi wamefutwa kazi. Watu wengi wameenda kutafuta kazi katika nchi za nje. Mdogo wa mamangu mwenyewe, bwanake alikuwa anaitwa Kibwana, anafanya refinery. Kwa experience yake baada ya refinery kufungwa, leo ameenda kufanya kazi Qatar, katika nchi za nje kusaidia watu wengine, na hali hii miradi ikiweza kufunguliwa wanaweza kuleta ushindani na watu wetu kufanya kazi hapa. Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Spika, nashukuru sana na nampongeza David Kimei. Asante sana.
Madam Ngelechei, the MP for Elgeyo Marakwet, followed by akifuatwa na Mheshimiwa Mazamzam.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. And Mr. Speaker, I want to contribute to the appointment of Mr. Kimei. I know David Kimei personally as a person, and he is someone, a very hardworking person, who has actually steered a very successful DGMB Solutions Limited and has proven to be somebody who can take an organization from one level to another. And that is the experience that we need in the public service nowadays, Mr. Speaker, because many a times we fail, not because we don't have the right people with the right knowledge, but experience is the best way we can handle this noble organization. Last, Mr. Speaker, Kemei is also somebody who is known to be very transparent, very honest. This is somebody you can depend upon, and this is somebody who is, you can guarantee that can discharge his duties without fear and favor. I therefore support the committee, Mr. Speaker, on the issue of David Kemei. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mheshimiwa Zamzam.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwanza kabla sijaendelea niweze kuelezea wale ambao wanashughulika na IT ama pale juu wasiweze kutoa mazungumzo yangu, manake tumeingia bunge tuzungumze, watu wetu wanaangalia. Mheshimiwa Spika, Mheshimiwa Spika, nichukue fursa hii niweze kumshukuru na kumpongeza ndugu yetu David Kemei kwa kuteuliwa katika halmashauri hii. Mheshimiwa Spika, Mheshimiwa Spika, ni mtu ambaye David Kemei amekuwa ni mtu mwenye mujitama ambao wa kueleweka, ni mtu ambaye amejiweka katika hadhi ambayo inatakiwa kuwekwa katika halmashauri hii. Mheshimiwa Spika, Mheshimiwa Spika, nikiweza kupigia upatu ndugu yangu Mheshimiwa Badi, naweza kusema hivi Mheshimiwa Spika, halmashauri nyingi Mheshimiwa Spika, unapata kama alivyozungumza wana ile mambo ya kufanya biashara mtu mmoja, yani monopoly. Yeye mtu mmoja ndio anataka kufanya biashara peke yake Mheshimiwa Spika. Na mimi nataka kusema kwa mfano ile grain bulk ya handlers ya kule Mombasa, unapata kuna wenzetu ambao wana uwezo wa kufanya biashara hii Mheshimiwa Spika, lakini mtu mmoja amekatalia, yeye peke yake ndo anafanya hiyo biashara Mheshimiwa Spika. Wenzake wamepewa nafasi ya kufanya, lakini unaona mambo enda kotini na nini. Kwa hiyo tunajua ndugu yetu David Kemei anaweza kainyoosha Mheshimiwa Spika na mambo yakawa sawa Mheshimiwa Spika. Tunaangalia pia katika halmashauri ya stima Mheshimiwa Spika, kuna mambo mengi ambayo yanaendelea, na akiweza kutoa mwanya ambao tutapata wengine ambao waweza kufanya shughuli hizi Mheshimiwa Spika, ikawa mambo ya stima yanaenda vizuri Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa hiyo mimi nataka leo kumpongeza, na pia nimwambie ndugu yangu Badi, pole sana kupoteza bodyguard wako. Mwenyezi Mungu amrehemu, amhifadhi na wema, na Mwenyezi Mungu akupe nguvu ndugu yangu Badi. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika.
Lilian Kogo. Yes, order Lilian.
Thank you so much, Honorable
Lilian.
Speaker.
Yes, Owen Bayer.
Honorable Speaker, while I support the sentiments on David Kemei, but in this debate, on the point of irrelevance, is it really right for honorable members to fight a company without a substantive motion? The issue of grain bulk is being fronted as if it is the main motion. Grain bulk is a respectable company that is doing good business out there. But when we drag its name here because of, I don't know, whatever war they have in Mombasa, I think it's unfair for this company, for the staff of that company, and for the organization called Grain Bulk. I think we need as a country to support this organization without having really to badmouth them in Parliament just because you cannot compete with them out there. Honorable Speaker, I think they need to withdraw those statements and stick to the motion on David Kemei and competition without necessarily having to badmouth a company that has done Kenya a great job. When no one could handle grain in this country, Grain Bulk came and invested. Is it really right for us to fight Grain Bulk Limited in this chamber? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Hold Zamzam, weko nini? Hapana.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika. Nataka nimwelezee Mheshimiwa Owen Bayer. jua kuweka matusi kando na maneno kando. Nimesema anafanya kazi nzuri, lakini atoe mwanya wa wenzake pia kuweza kufanya biashara ile ile, siwe ni mtu mmoja. Kwa hiyo hatujamtukana, hatujamtusi, usiweke fitna. Hii ni bunge ambayo tunataka mgao katika serikali ama mgao katika taifa uelekee kwa Wakenya wote, Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Baya, mimi ni Mpwani, wewe ni Mpwani, na unajua bandari ni yetu sisi sote, lazima tuweke Wakenya wote waweze kupata matunda ndani ya bandari. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika.
Lilian Kogo.
I really thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to also rise and support the nomination of one David Kemei to be the Director General of Competition Authority. And I want to congratulate him. He's well known in his astuteness in the work that he does. And Honorable Speaker, the point I wanted to add on to what my colleagues have already said is that the appointment of Honorable Kemei comes at a point when, as Kenyans, we are entangled in a system where we have the national debate on inclusivity. We have the agenda of everybody and all of us being included. I appreciate his qualifications, I appreciate his experience, but he's coming at a time, Honorable Speaker, when the national dialogue and the national agenda is on inclusivity. So I want to appreciate the work that the committee has done, but I still also want to implore Kenyans. I want to implore Kenyans and tell them and tell us that it is important that when distributing the national cake, that Honorable Speaker, that we include all regions, Honorable Speaker. At the time that Kenya stands, most Kenyans have been exposed to education, Honorable Speaker. At the place where we find Kenya, Honorable Speaker, most Kenyans are experienced, Honorable Speaker. At the point where I stand, Honorable Speaker, most Kenyans have the capacity to do a good job. So I would implore, Honorable Speaker, that as we appoint noble Kenyans in the various capacities so for them to serve this country, I pray that we follow the desire of the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. We follow the law of the land. We follow the ultimate Bible of the law of Kenya, that we include all Kenyans, Honorable Speaker. I have nothing personal against David. I have nothing, he's not known to me in person, but my dear friend, Honorable Member for Aldai, indicates that she knows him in person. And I hold her in very high regard. And for that particular reason, I'm going to give the DG marks. This is what I'm saying, Honorable Speaker, that as much as we want to do this, we need to now start getting it right. That even the motion that is still, that is pending before this House, that you are here to give your direction and wisdom. I know, Honorable Speaker, that people will still question why it is only one particular community, Honorable Speaker, that would qualify for certain jobs. I have nothing personal against my dear brother, but I pray, Honorable Speaker, that we give each other equal opportunity, we balance all the state corporations, and as he goes to work, do the work, implement the Act of Competition Authority. I pray that he does it with the diligence and the decorum that is expected of him. A time has come that he has to go and just clip certain companies in this country. Honorable Speaker, you would find a certain company, you buy data with them. When you buy data of 1,000, by morning that data is finished. You buy data of 3,000, by morning that same data is finished. Even if you are not using your phone, your data just disappears. So I'm wishing my brother well, and I pray that he serves Kenyans with the diligence and the respect that Kenyans deserve. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes. Member for...
Yes, Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. I'm standing on order 95. I feel that this matter has been extensively deliberated upon, and Mr. Speaker, I'm requesting you to call the mover to reply. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Is that the mood of the House? I'll put the question, which is that the mover be called upon to reply. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I want to thank this Honorable House for the great robust debate that you've had on this candidate, Honorable Speaker. And because I'm sure that the candidate is listening, and if this House approves his candidature for the Director General of the Competition Authority of Kenya, I hope he's going to take consideration the concerns of this House, which is ensuring there is a robust competition in this republic, which is to ensure that we stop these monopolies in this country, Honorable Speaker. Because monopolies have been shown by research to cause many problems, whether it is substandard products in the market, whether it is price manipulation, Honorable Speaker, whether it is hindering the growth of small and medium-term enterprises, Honorable Speaker, whether it is the abuse of the market, whether it is prevention of economic efficiency, Honorable Speaker, or even preventing concentration of economic power to a few people, Honorable Speaker, or a few institutions, Honorable Speaker. So we hope that the DG designate will stamp his authority and ensure that there is compliance to competition, that every Kenyan, every business is given a right and time and the required support by this administration to make sure that they can avail their products in the market. Because that way, we ensure Kenyans have access to fairly competitively priced products, good quality, prevent dominance, and give a chance to everyone to shine in whichever industry that, Honorable Speaker, they seek to thrive in, Honorable Speaker. I don't know whether, Honorable Speaker, I'm allowed to donate part of the remaining minutes to CPA Ruto, a member of the committee.
No minutes remaining.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
In the future, if you want to donate any minute, you do so before you reply.
Well, get it, Honorable Speaker.
The moment you reply is closure.
Well, get it, Honorable Speaker. Only that, I beg to reply.
Thank you, Honorable Kimani. Honorable members, I'll now put the question, which is that taking into consideration the findings of the Joint Committee of the National Assembly Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning and the Senate Standing Committee on Finance and Budget in its report on the vetting of a nominee for appointment as the Director General of the Competition Authority, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 26 September 2024, and pursuant to Section 12(1) of the Competition Act, Cap 504, and Section 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act 2011, this House approves the appointment of Mr. David Kibet Kemei as the Director General of the Competition Authority. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable Member McLeod, take your seat. Honorable members, Karoli, take your seat. Member for Webuye, take your seat. Honorable members, I have a further communication on the consideration of the special motion for the removal from office by impeachment of His Excellency Gachagua as Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. Honorable members, you recall that earlier this afternoon at the commencement of this sitting, I notified the House of receipt of a notice of special motion